Hey guys, welcome to Pulled Pin Productions, the show that teaches you filmmaking tricks. I'm your host, Matthew Grover, awesome director, sweet cinematographer, and amazing filmmaker. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do this really cool 8mm camera effect. Let's take a look at what we'll be making. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is find some high quality film grain assets. I'll leave a link down in the description to where I got mine for free. And once you have those, you'll want to import them into Premiere. You can use any editing software for this: Final Cut Pro, HitFilm, Premiere. I'm just choosing to use Premiere because that's one of the software that I have. Okay, so you'll want to open up Film Scratches, as well as Film Grain Overlays. And there's a lot of different ones here. You have an 8mm, 16, 35, noir, cool, warm, and then you have a Super 8, 16, Super 35, and a vintage one. I chose to use the Super 30, the Super 8, just because the grain is a little bit tighter. I didn't want it to look too grainy and distorted. I want it to still kind of stay together. So we'll import that one as well. And the first thing you're going to want to do is just drop that on there. Now these are all in 4K, so you're going to want to bring it down to HD if that's how you shot it. If you shot in 4K, then just leave it as it is. Okay, and then bring the film scratches on there, and there's already audio for the Super 8mm sound effect, so that's kind of a nice bonus. Now this isn't in HD. I believe this is 720p. I could be wrong though, so you'll have to bring the size up a little bit. Okay, so now that you've done that, you want to go to blending mode right here, and you want to go to overlay. And now that's already 90% of the effect, as you can see. But there's a couple things we can do to make it look even better. Okay, so after we added these overlays, we're going to want to just kind of fine-tune and adjust it a little bit. How we're going to do that is we're going to go into the color tab of Premiere. I was in editing before, now I'm in color. We're going to want to create a new adjustment layer. If you don't know how to do that, you can just right click, say new item, adjustment layer, but I already have one here. So we'll just drag that above everything so it affects all the footage we have down below. And we're just gonna go one by one, adjusting things to our liking. I'm not gonna touch basic correction, but in creative, what I'll do is I'll take faded film, and it's really up to you how much you want to do. I like to be a little subtle, so I'm gonna do 20%. And if you've ever seen film, it's not very sharp. Digital cameras tend to over sharpen the video, and film cameras tend to be a little on the not so sharp side. So we're gonna just bring that down a little bit. And there's two ways you can go with vibrance and saturation. Some film from like the 80s that you might see tend to be very vibrant and saturated, but some 8mm film tends to be on the opposite side, especially if it's black and white. But I like the look of it being vibrant and saturated, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring both of those up, just till it looks right to me. And as you can see, that has already done a lot to transform our footage. I'm not going to touch curves. For the color wheel, I'm just going to bring everything down a little bit into the cool section, just because I like how that looks. But everything is totally subjective Don't follow how I'm doing it. Just do it how you want to do it. And then we'll take the vignette and we'll just bring that down quite a bit, because they almost always have a vignette around them, especially with some of the cheaper film. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to make it look like it's the right aspect ratio. You can definitely leave it like this, but if you want a more authentic film feel, you're going to want to be in a 4:3 aspect ratio. So if you go into effects and crop, we'll drop that on there. Go down here and we'll set the left to 15 and the right to 15. And you can definitely get an aspect ratio overlay to put on this. I just think it's easier to do a crop. It's the quick and dirty way to do it. Maybe not quite as accurate. So yeah, that's the effect. If you have any comments or questions, make sure you leave a comment down below. Make sure you like and subscribe. And remember, I'll leave the link to where I got the overlays in the description below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.